I am the girlfriend of Edward Badalian, J6 defendant, prisoner number 386625. He was taken on September 26th from me in the courthouse.
What year?
This year, actually. He was wearing an ankle monitor for the year previously. And now he is incarcerated, was in D.C. prison for 6 weeks after his sentencing. They do kick them out at that point. They, have sent them to every single state. He's now in FDC, Philadelphia. He says it's worse there than D.C. The only thing that's better is the food. He had no violence during January 6th. He was actually helping pull people off of the building. Somebody was trying to break the window, and he was able to pull the gentleman off the window. The judge liked to say that he was attacking a rider, which is absurd. Edward loves his country, and he was just there to ensure that there was no wrongdoings and nothing done harm to his friends or himself. He had been hurt by eight members of Antifa here at a Beverly Hills rally, October 2020. 8 members of Antifa had attacked him and hit him in the head with a lead pipe and ended up in a concussion. He fainted days later from said concussion.
Was he wearing a helmet himself?
No, he had a hat on. He had his Trump hat on.
Were they wearing helmets?
They were wearing helmets. They were wearing full gear. Their black blockade vests and everything, knee pads, elbow pads, etc. They come ready to cause destruction. And why are they showing up to our rallies? We're here for the issues. They're here to fight against, good, really, honestly. We're fighting for we're fighting for the kids. We're fighting for what they're learning in schools, and they show up and they fight for the other side. So it's hard. So he felt like he needed to protect his friends on the day of January 6th, and so he's sentenced. He got 51 months, which is 4 years, 3 months. Since it was nonviolent, he ends up with the First Step Act allows you to work within the prison and get out in half the time. So we're looking at 2 years and some, but still, for someone who just showed up to the Capitol and entered the building for 4 minutes and came right back out, no harm done to the building or any person, got 4 years and 3 months. I mean, our life has been turned upside down. My life is completely different. I am just a nanny who's now on the brink of, possibly changing somewhat of my career or having to change my life a bit. I have to fundraise for him and his commissary needs, his legal needs. We're appealing because obviously what had happened that day, we're allowed to go there and redress our grievances. We're allowed to go and say that we felt like it was an unfair election. And as we see in the footage, cops were just letting people in, and then you see the corruption and the chaos that they had created there that day as well. So I just want to say, don't forget about our guys there in J6, our J6 defendants that are all in prisons all over the country. I'm working on certain things like phone calls are unfortunate. I was hoping that I'd do some kind of West Coast vigil, and when they end up in a BOP, you can actually have a BOP as a federal prison. When they end up there, they are not allowed. It's technically considered a 3-way call. It's not allowed. They get their phone privileges taken away, and so because they can't control who's on the other side of the line, and so. It's all about control. It's all about making money off of us as well. If that person wants to talk to them, they'd have to pay separately or whatever it is. We have money in accounts, multiple accounts, commissary accounts, texting accounts, phone accounts, that is not going to be able to be put back into our pocket most likely. They just end up consuming that. Once they move them, they don't get to take anything with them. There's, something called diesel therapy. They bus them around the country, and they have you sitting in a bus for 18 hours, and you don't get a bathroom break. Or, there's lots of really screwed up things that I'm learning, and unsettling, and all I can do is just kind of push forward and take the next step. So I am now volunteering for the Trump campaign, doing phone calls in Iowa right now. Hopefully, when they come to California, that'll be something a little bit more. There is ways that we can help them. Well, just by even sending our guys letters, finding out what their prisoner number is, sending them letters so that they don't go crazy in there. They're some of them are all alone. I keep getting praised for standing by him, and it's not. It really wasn't a decision. I'm not going to leave him behind. He's
Some of their girlfriends or wives have abandoned them.
Sure, yeah. Or they just didn't have a lot of people for support beforehand, and so now in there they're not getting and actually. The COs don't treat them very nice when they don't have people who are calling in for them, or that they can tell people don't care about them. They get treated worse because we're out here rallying for them. So just in general, not just our J6 guys, seeing the way that prisoners are treated and wanting to help with prisoner reform, my eyes being opened to all that is putting me down a certain path. Maybe starting some kind of nonprofit, which has been kind of messy for some people because there's been like some fraudulent stuff happening within some nonprofit stuff. But I'm just kind of like hitting the ground running and trying to find these guys opportunities for jobs when they get out. Maybe pre-planning and calling these businesses in our local areas or their local areas, and kind of ahead of the game setting up a list of businesses that will employ them after they get out, because unfortunately some of them are still going to have felonies on their record, and it's just really unfortunate after they've had to be in prison and go through that for years. They're going to come out here and struggle in finding jobs, and then that comes with a slew of other things that cause depression, etc. So just pray for God, pray to God that these guys keep it together and keep a good mindset. Edward that's in there, he just astounds me with how much faith that he has and how much that this will turn around, that he will find justice, that he will get out, and that God will win.
Faith that it would occur even under the Democrat administrations?
I think, and as I'm volunteering on the Trump campaign, if we work together and really make it a thing that we're all in this together. Like, the Democratic people need to understand that sometimes we are just right there in line with what they want as well, and that the media controls everything that they watch, and the narrative that is spun, and that they need to get back to to basics and understand that we all love each other, and that a government trying to control us, no matter what they call themselves, it's a uniparty really. It's just they just want to control us. No matter they divide us so they can control us. So
why do you suppose that that the Republican Party did not demonstrate more for the political prisoners when they were first locked up, or even since then, that there are no Hurricane Carter style movements to keep alive these guys are living? We talk about the hostages now in the Middle East, but these guys have been hostages now for 2 years.
You're saying the Republican Party, why didn't they step up initially? Yeah, I mean, that is something that needs to happen, and we need to call out all of our local Republican politicians, as well as up there in Congress. And that's what I'm saying with these phone calls and getting another congressional J6 hearing going. It's a lot of work that we're not paid for, but in turn I'm getting someone I love out of prison, so that's my motivation. But it is hard to motivate the rest of the public when they don't have a reason quite as heavy as that to do the things they need to do. But fill your time with something that's productive, something that will heal us, something that's not monotonous.
Is there a way that people can help Edward, or through you?
Yeah, absolutely. I hold the fundraiser, for Edward, and that's givesendgo.com/help free Edward Badalian.
Gift, send, go.
Give, GIVE, givesendgo.com/help free Edward Badalian.
How do you spell his last name?
Badalian. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a very proud Armenian man who was born here in Hollywood and loves his country, and I'm hoping that he'll be free soon.